The weeds are not invading the allotment bed. They were already there before the first seed was sown, before the first spade broke the surface, before any human decision was made about what that ground was supposed to grow. Beneath a single square metre of cultivated soil, there are between 10,000 and 30,000 viable weed seeds lying dormant in the dark, not drifting in on the wind, not arriving from a neighbouring plot. Already present, already waiting, banked into the soil matrix across decades or centuries of accumulated plant life. This reservoir has a name in botany, the soil seed bank. It is not a metaphor, it is a real, measurable, catalogued population of organisms paused mid-life. Suspended in biological stasis beneath the surface humans walk across without a second thought. The allotment holder looks at a cleared, prepared bed and perceives emptiness. Biology perceives a trigger. This is where the mechanism becomes genuinely unsettling. Many buried weed seeds do not germinate randomly. They wait for a specific signal. That signal is light, not extended exposure, not warmth. A fraction of a second of illumination is sufficient. Buried seeds carry photoreceptors called phytochromes, molecular switches tuned to detect the briefest flash of light reaching the soil from above. When a spade turns the ground, when a hoe scrapes the surface, when a hand pulls a weed and shifts the soil matrix around it, phytochromes in seeds centimetres below fire their signal. The seed reads it as proximity to the surface. Germination begins. The act of weeding is the precise biological event that wakes the next generation of weeds into existence. Agricultural researchers have demonstrated that tilling in total darkness reduces weed emergence by between 50 and 75%. The light was never incidental. The light was the instruction. This dormancy is not fragile. In 1879, a botanist named W.J. Beale buried a series of glass bottles at Michigan State University. Each bottle contained a mixture of weed seeds, sealed underground at depth. The experiment was designed to test the outer limits of seed viability. In 2021, the 16th bottle was unearthed. Seeds of mothmullen, Verbascum blattaria, germinated successfully after 141 years, buried in total darkness. No intervention, no artificial preservation, pure evolutionary engineering in the seed coat. These are not fragile, delicate organisms requiring careful stewardship. These are biological time capsules that outlive human lifespans, outlive generations, outlive the gardeners who unknowingly deposited them by letting a single plant go to seed on a plot they once held. Domesticated crops were bred across thousands of years of human selection to concentrate their energy into what humans wanted: large fruit, dense root, abundant flower. That concentration of energy came at a cost. Reproductive output was narrowed, managed, controlled. Pioneer weeds made the opposite evolutionary trade. A single plant of redroot pigweed, Amaranthus retroflexus, produces between 100,000 and 250,000 seeds in a single season. Lamb's quarter, Chenopodium album, produces over 70,000. One plant, one season, one failure to catch it before it flowers. That is not a setback. That is a 20-year restocking of the seed bank beneath that bed, compounding the underground army that was already waiting there before work began. The asymmetry is extraordinary. Domesticated crops require continuous human intervention to reproduce successfully. Pioneer weeds require only a brief lapse of attention. Ecology describes what happens to bare ground with a precise term: secondary succession. When a disturbance clears an existing ecosystem, whether fire, flood, or a human with a spade, the exposed soil is reset to what biologists call day zero. The ecosystem responds in a fixed sequence. First, fast-growing annual pioneer species colonize the bare ground rapidly. Then perennial grasses establish, then shrubs, then, over decades, a climax community. In a temperate British climate, that trajectory ends in woodland. The allotment bed is an artificially frozen moment in that sequence. The gardener's job, understood through this lens, is not cultivation. It is the constant interruption of a process that millions of years of evolutionary pressure have made extraordinarily persistent. Nature does not recognize the bed as a garden. It recognizes it as an injury. Pioneer weeds are the biological scab. They evolved to cover bare ground as rapidly as the biology allows, and they have been doing so since long before any human decided that particular patch of earth should grow brassicas instead. The chaos is not a failure of effort. It is the default state of a soil system carrying tens of thousands of dormant seeds triggered by the act of disturbance itself, backed by reproductive mathematics that dwarf anything a domesticated crop can counter. The practical application is blunt. Minimise soil disturbance wherever possible. Never allow a pioneer weed to reach seed, and understand that the bed is not a neutral space waiting to be filled, but an active biological system pushing back toward a state it has been perfecting for millions of years. So, over to you. What is the pettiest, most embarrassing conflict your allotment has ever caused with another person in your life? A partner who objects to the time, a neighbour who claims your beds are harbouring their weeds, a committee member who has taken issue with your methods, and, looking back now, were you actually in the right? Tell us the whole story in the comments below. Your plot is a volatile battleground of ancient biology, endless microscopic wars, and hidden human nature. To ensure you never look at your beds the same way again, subscribe to Grow a Lot Studio.